Good afternoon and welcome to another episode of 5 Games 5 Minutes from acornelectron.co.uk. I'm sure that Astro Plumber by Mike Williams was intended to be a neat, inviting little arcade game. You're a maintenance man who must repair a number of pipes in an underground mine. Bouncing around down there are some dodgy looking aliens who must be avoided. A combination of jumping, jetpack thrusting and overhead pipe mending doesn't sound all that complicated. But if you look at the bottom of the screen, you'll see 3 separate energy bars. The pressure bar never seems to move at all, so let's put that aside for now. The other 2 bars, air and fuel, fall pretty quickly. Air is replenished from the supplies outside of the mine. The trouble with Astro Plumber is that there are too many variables. You can't accurately judge how long any foray into the mine will take. You similarly can't judge whether the jetpack is going to work. You often don't even move up and down the ladders as you expect. There are immediate reincarnation problems when you get killed too. All of these add up to a really unrewarding gaming experience. Yes, you may succeed in fixing the odd pipe section, but this game will rarely tempt you back to play it. Youre Alan Partridge is a 2005 part demo, part game, in which you have to survive a number of interviews. To get through them, an almost intimate knowledge of what Alan says in what episode of the TV show is required. You need to reach a certain score to win the level, and you always get multiple choice answers. The game is rendered in monochrome, and it features 8 or so screens, reflecting the characters' changing moods as each interview progresses. There's also quite a comprehensive menu of setup options that fine-tune the game before you start it. The game was written for a demo convention, and it shows. If you leave it alone and don't start a game, it goes into demo mode and starts cycling through loads of graphics, prototype features and deleted sequences. It's also a huge game, disc only, and includes sampled speech. The speech feature, if you turn it on, is meant to emanate from an interrogating laptop called Digital Dave. You need the VoxBox hardware expansion to hear it. If you're an Alan Partridge fan, then you're going to think this is lovely stuff. If you're not going to understand it at all. The Network is another completely impossible to win Peter Scott game, in which you play a droid looking for 20 pieces of machinery scattered through the network of the title. If you look at the evolution of Peter Scott games, well, it's more polished than some and it's less polished than others. You've got 5 lives. Every one of these 5 lives has an energy bar that stretches the whole width of the screen. However, the rate this is drained at when you collide with aliens means that you're not going to make a lot of progress. This is because moving platforms, bouncing aliens and your droid all ricochet off one another. If you come into contact with aliens, it means that the alien freezes in its position and it causes as much damage to you as possible until you move away. According to the instructions, there are teleportation devices scattered around that can be used to see different parts of the maze. You're given one code to get started. However, because I haven't got the gift of second sight, I can't progress very far with the network at all. Although it was released on the superior Acornsoft label, I think it lacks the quality usually associated with this. ENTHAR 7. The game is a disc-based text-only adventure from Robico, and the title is the name of a planet, one that's divided into 7 sections. How you found your way there isn't explained. You're deposited in the pilot's chair, although there's no pilot in sight. You've got one objective: escape from ENTHAR 7. From here on in, you can expect to spend a lot of time head-scratching, searching locations, and desperately trying to make progress. The good thing is that with 1,200 messages, the game has always got something to say. The messages gently prod you in the right direction. Whilst opening the game is a pretty taut emergency countdown sequence, after you've transported out of danger, the game does calm down a little. Careful reading of the instructions also will then allow you to use the vacuum cleaner correctly when you find it. This game will appeal to those who like films like Solaris and 2001: A Space Odyssey. It's also worth noting that ENTHAR 7 is about as rare a game as you could imagine, and an original copy of it is practically impossible to get hold of. Santa's Delivery by Tynesoft is a game with a Christmassy theme, but if you think it might inject a bit of festive good cheer into your Electron, then think again. This game is boredom personified. The idea is that you, as Santa, need to steal across the rooftops, jumping the gaps between them. You can collect mince pies and pieces of cake that appear, and you need to watch out for snowballs that fly across at foot level. There are snowmen that appear and disappear at random too. One thing I'll give it, it's colourful, but plodding backwards and forwards across the same screen over and over and over again does not an addictive game make. There's no action to speak of. The snowballs can appear from nowhere just to pick you off at any moment. Santa often jumps twice instead of once and then falls to his death. And picking up the treats is hit and miss. Santa often walks right through them. It's less of the ho 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 and the more no no no. There's also a little demo on the tape too. It doesn't make any difference though. This package is still appalling.